Hey everybody, welcome to Geeks for Geeks, and this is Abhay. In this video, we are going to create a very simple chat application. So this is the first screen of our chat application. Here, if you are already signed up, you can enter your username and password and click on the login button. And if you are a new user, you can go to sign up page and here enter your credential and you will be signed up. Since I'm already signed up, so let's enter my username and password. So we have abhay@gmail.com. This is my username or email, and then password is abhay11. So I can simply press on this login button. So here is the home screen. Here you can see all the users to whom I can chat with. So let's open the chat of Akash. Now here you can see we have already some chats. So let's enter some message. Hi Akash, how are you? And simply press on this button to send the message, and here you can see this message is over here. Now let's log in as Akash and see if we have this message or not. So to log out, you can simply have to press on this log out button. So you are logged out. Now let's log in as Akash. So we have akash@gmail.com and the password was abhay11. I have same password for all the users just for simplicity. So press on the login button, and as Abhay, I have sent that message. So let's open this. Now here you can see we have this message. Hi Akash, how are you? So you can again reply, hi, I'm fine. So here you can see we have this message. So this is the app that we are going to create in this video. So let's see how we have to do it. So let's create this new Android Studio project and select this empty activity, hit next. Now the name of our app, so we have chat application. This is the name of our app, click finish. So our project is now ready. Okay, so we have this main activity, we have the XML file and the Kotlin file. So let's create two more activity, one for login activity and one for sign up activity. So let's go to the name of our package, right click on it, go to new, we have this activity and we need an empty activity, hit next. And the name of the activity is login. So click finish. So here is the login activity and we will need one more, that is sign up activity. So go to activity gallery, select this empty one and let's call it sign up. So here is our sign up activity. Now let's quickly create our login and sign up screen. So let's go to this login XML file, and also we need two resource file for our app. So here you can see one is this logo of Geeks for Geeks and the other one is this send image, right? So let's simply copy both of them and you can go to resources and inside drawable you simply have to paste them. Okay, so we have our both the images that we have to use in our app. So let's go to the XML code over here, and the first thing, let's change it to relative layout because I like to work with a relative layout. So the next thing is we need an image of our app logo. So we have an image view. Let's do it. Width is 150 dp and height is also 150 dp. Now let's set the source of the image, and that source is, this is the name of the image. So here we have this image. Now let's center it horizontally. So center horizontal is true, and let's give the top margin. So we have margin top and let's give it top margin of 70 dp. Yeah, that will be fine. So this is going to be our logo of the app. Now we need to edit text or text field for entering email and password. So we have edit text and width is, let's say, match parent, and height is going to be wrap content, and let's give the id of this image. So id over here is let's call it app logo. So here is our edit text and it will be below this image. So we have this layout below and this app logo. So here you can see it is below this image, and let's set some top margin. So margin top, and set the top margin of 10 dp, and the hint that we have for this is email. Okay, so this is going to be email, and let's set the left and right margin. So the margin left is 20 dp, and also the right margin is going to be 20 dp as well. And we need similar edit text for the password, so I can simply copy this and paste it, but it will be below. Okay, let's give it id of this edit text. So id is going to be edt email. Okay, and this one has id of edt password. Okay, so this thing will be always below. Okay, we already have this layout below, and this one will be edt email. Okay, and let's set the hint as password. So also we need two buttons, but before we create buttons here, let's set the design of this. Let's create a custom design for our edit text. Okay, let me just zoom in a bit. Yeah, let's create a custom design for this edit text. So for that, go to the project, and here inside this drawable, right click, go to new, and here let's create new drawable resource. So root element will be shape, and file name is edt background. Okay, okay, before we write our custom background for the edit text, we need some color resources. So if you remember, we have a green color for our theme, but we by default don't have green color provided by Android Studio. Here you can see. So let's create that. So go to Google Chrome and let's search for color picker. So here is the color picker. Now go to this website, and here we can exactly get our color what we need. So we need this green color, and here I think this color will be fine. So let's copy the code of this color and go to Android Studio, and here inside this colors, okay, first copy this, and the name will be green. Also let's copy the code and paste it over here. So here is the green color resource. Now let's go back to the edit background, and here the first thing that we need is, so let's select the corners, and the corner radius is going to be maybe 10 dp. This will be fine for the corner radius. Okay, let's also have the color. So the next thing is we need this stroke, and stroke color is going to be this green color, and let's set the width of the stroke. Width will be maybe 2 dp. Yeah, this will be fine. So let's get back to our login screen. Here is our login screen, and let's set the background and see how it looks. So if we set the background here, this is edit background. So okay, this is how it will look. I think we have to set the custom height. So height will be maybe 50 dp. So okay, 50 dp will be fine. We need more curved radius. So let's go back to here, and here I think we need 20 dp. So yeah, this will be fine. Let's just increase the width of this background. So the width over here will be 4 dp maybe. Okay, no, 4 dp is way more. 3 dp will be fine. So yeah, this one is fine, and let's set the padding. So that padding, we need padding left, and let's set the padding of 10 dp to the left side. So here you can see this email hint is a little bit left from the boundary. Okay, let's set it to be 13 dp. Yeah, it will be better. And we need the same for password as well. So copy this and do the same with password. Let's set the height of 50 dp. So this is the height, and we need padding left. So padding left, and the padding left is 13 dp. Okay, so we are done with the fields with this text field. Now the next thing that we need is we need buttons. So we have button, and width is wrap content, height is also wrap content, and this one will be always below edt password. Okay, and the text over button will be simply login. This is going to be the text over button, and let's make it center horizontal to true and give the top margin top is 10 dp. Also, we don't need any kind of material design by default. So for that, let's go to themes, and here it says theme dot material component. So we don't need like this. So here we have theme dot app compat dot light dot no action bar, and let's go back to our login dot xml, and here you can see we have this default buttons. Okay, let's set the width to be 100 dp. Okay, 100 dp will not make sense, maybe 150 dp, and yeah, that will be fine. And also let's create the custom background for our button as well. So go to project, drawable, right click on this drawable, go to new drawable resource, and file name will be button background, and change the root element to shape. So here is the background for button, and the first thing that we'll do is I'll change the corners, and the radius will be maybe 4 dp. This is how the corner will look like, and the color, so here we have the solid, and Android color will be green. Okay, so okay, let's first implement this background and see how it works. So if I set the background as button background, okay, this is how it will look like. And let's okay, it is, I have misspelled to F instead of D, but anyways, okay, let's change the text color in the button to white. So text color here is white. So it is now looks much better, and let's also increase the size. So text size, here is the text size, and let's change it to 20 sp, not dp. So here is the button, and let's change the radius to be 10 dp, and let's see how it works with 10 dp. And okay, it is still less, and 15 dp will be perfect. So okay, it is now perfect, and we need the same button for the sign up as well. So you can simply copy this and paste this. First of all, let's give it id, and id for this is button login. This is the id, and for this id will be button sign up. Okay, and text will say sign up, and it will be always below the login button. So here layout below is button login. So here you can see we have this. So we are done with the login screen, and the next thing that we have to do, we have to create the sign up screen. So it will be almost similar. So I can simply copy everything, and let's go to the, okay, over here, this is the screen for sign up. So I can simply paste everything. The first thing that we have to do, we have to change the context to sign up activity. Okay, so email is good, password is good. Okay, we need one more text, edit text, that will, we have to enter the name of the user. So we can simply copy one of the edit text and paste above every edit text, and id will be edt name. This is the id, and hint will be name, and this one will be always below this image. So we have layout below. Okay, but this is for the email edit text. This edit text will be always below the name edit text. So here we have edt name. So it is fine now, I think. And we don't need this login button, we just need the sign up button. So let's remove the sign up button, and it will throw an error because we don't have button login. So this sign up button will be always below this password edit text. So edt password. Okay, so it is fine. We are done with the login and sign up screen. Now let's do just one thing, that when we simply press on this sign up button, it just redirects us to the sign up page. So now let's go to the login.kt file, and here let's initialize all the views. So here, if you can see, we have two edit text and two buttons. So okay, first of all, let's close all the XML files that we don't need. Okay, so here is our login .kt file. Now initialize all the views. So private late init var, and edt email is the first view with the type of edit text. I am using late init here because I will be initializing it later inside this on create. So this is the edt email. So let's copy it and paste 4 times, and here this one is edt password. It is also of type edit text. Then we have button, and this one was button login, but it is of type button. And then we have button sign up. This is also of type button, right? So now let's initialize this inside this on create. Okay, so the first thing was edt email. So we have edt email is equals to find view by id, short form is fp, r.id.edt email. Okay, and let's copy this and paste it 4 times. This is edt password. Okay, id was also edt password. Then we have button login. id was also button login. Then we had button sign up. id is also button sign up. So we have initialized all the 4 views. Now the thing is, when we click on this button sign up, we have to redirect to the sign up activity. So button sign up dot set on click listener, and here we'll simply create an intent. So in Kotlin, this is how we create intent. While intent is equals to intent, and we have to jump from current activity, which is this, to sign up class Java. This is how we create intent in Kotlin. And we have to start this start activity, and we have to pass in the same intent that we just have created. So we are done with this. Now our app is good for running, but here is one issue. By default, the landing page of our app will be the home, this main activity, but we want it to be the login activity as the home activity, or when the app opens up, we want login activity to opens up in the first time. So for that, what we have to do, we simply have to go to the manifest over here. Here you can see one thing, that is inside this main activity we have intent filter. So we have to remove intent filter from main activity and put it in the login activity, or in whatever activity you want to make it as a landing page of your app. You have to simply paste this intent filter. So I paste this inside this login activity. Now login activity will be our home page. So let's run the app and see is this thing is running or not. So here is our app up and running, and as you can see, instead of main activity, login activity is opened up. Now if I press on this sign up, I am redirected to the sign up page. So our login and sign up screen is now done. Now we actually have to add the functionality of actually logging in and signing up the user. So let's see how we are going to do it. So the tool that we are going to use for all our backend stuff is called Firebase. So this is the homepage of the Firebase, and Firebase is provided by Google. It can handle all the stuff for your app's backend, like authentication of user, database, cloud storage system for storing the information like image, profile image of the user. We can use this Firebase for do almost everything. Also, it is free of cost. Just what you have to do, you have to enter your Gmail account for logging in this Firebase. So once you are logged in, you just have to go to this console. So click on go to console. So this is the all the projects that I have worked on previously. So to add a new project, you simply have to go to add project, and now here you have to enter the name of your project. So let's enter chat application. This is the name of project. Hit continue, and then you have to again press on this continue button. Select the account. So I'll select the account that I have simply logged in. Create project. Now it will take a moment and our project is ready. So here you can see it says your new project is ready. Click on this continue button. So this is how it will look like after creating our project. Now here we have option for iOS. This is for iOS apps. Then we have Android apps, and here it is web applications and the Unity. So what we will be doing will be simply going with Android. Now here you have to enter the Android package name. So let's go to the Android Studio, and from here I can simply get the package name. So copy this and let's paste over here, and the name of application, which is chat application. Okay, and this is sh1 a certificate. Actually we don't have to enter it here. This is only useful when you are actually publishing your apps to Google Play Store. So I'll simply leave it empty. Now simply register your app. Now here it says you have to download this Google services.json file, and this is very important file. Without this, this all makes no sense. So click on this and your file will be downloaded. So here you can see this is a downloaded. Now let's show in Finder. So this is Google services.json. You simply have to copy it from here and go to Android Studio, open project, and instead of Android, let's go switch to project mode. And inside this application folder, you have to paste it. So simply paste it over here. And one thing to make sure that in bracket it says 4. You don't have to do it. It just needs to be Google hyphen services.json file. It exactly needs to be the same, otherwise it won't work. So click OK, and this is the JSON file that we need. So let's go back to our Android mode, right? Okay, close this, back to the Firebase. So we are done with this step. Now hit next, and here we have to add some dependencies in our Gradle. So the first dependency is, okay, although inside this repository we have this Google here, these are things are already present in Android Studio. Here this class path is something new. So you simply press on this button to copy. Let's go to the Android project, and inside the Gradle we have to go to first top level Gradle of our app. Double click and we have to paste it here. So inside this dependency on the top level Gradle of your app, and hit sync now so that it is synced with our app. So we are done with this. So simply close this. We don't need this anymore. And okay, let's go back to the Firebase. We are done with this part, and here since we are using Kotlin, so let's select Kotlin. So here we have to apply these two plugins. So copy the first one, go back to Android Studio, and this time open the app level Gradle, and outside this dependency paste this apply plugin. Go back to uh, this Firebase, copy this second one, again paste it over here, and again we have these two dependency. We have to paste this inside the dependencies block. So copy this one and paste it over here, and now the last one, and paste it over here and press this sync now. And once this sync is done, we are completely connected with the Firebase. So as you can see, it is done now. So simply remove this Gradle. We don't need manifest. Okay, so let's get back to the Firebase and hit next because we are almost done with everything. And here continue to console. So this is the console screen, and here you can see we have this authentication, Firestore database, real-time database, we have storage, hosting, and all the features that Firebase provide. So the first feature that we need is authentication of the user. So click on this authentication. So here is the page. Now we simply have to press on this get started. And here we have all the methods that we can use to sign up or log in our user. Here you can see we have this email, password, phone, this one is for OTP, we have Google authentication, and tons of features over here. So what we need, we simply need this email and password. So click on this, click on these two buttons for enabling things, and simply press on this save button. Now here it says email and password enabled. Now you can use the authentication using email and password in your app. So if I go to the user, here you can see we have no users for this project yet because we haven't added any functionality to use the authentication in our app. So let's do it. So let's get back to our Android Studio, and here in this login screen, first of all go to tools over here because we have to add the Firebase authentication dependency in our app. Now here we have this Firebase, so click on this and assistant will open up. So here is the Firebase assistant. We have all the features of the Firebase. So the thing that we right now need is this authentication. So click on this, and inside this here we have authentication using custom authentication system, and we have this Kotlin. So simply click on this and it will ask you to add Firebase authentication SDK to your app. So simply click on this and it will say we'll do this, we'll add this dependency to your app. So you have to accept the changes and wait for a second while the build finish. So here it says dependencies set up correctly. So close this assistant. Now we have the functionality of authentication in our app. Now we just have to write appropriate codes to have our auth. Okay, so here let's first initialize the our Firebase authentication. So private late init var, and what we need is we need mauth, and this is of type Firebase. Okay, wait for a second while it opens up. So here we have Firebase. Okay, the Firebase auth is not loaded yet. We have Firebase. Okay, let's check if okay, let's go back to the Gradles and see if the dependencies are set up correctly or not. So here we have Firebase auth, but okay, it will take a second to sync with the Android Studio. So let's see if it is back or not. Okay, it's not showing yet. So let me simply restart the Android Studio because there is some lag between the dependencies and the actual Android Studio. So I'll be back after restarting the Android Studio. So let's see if Firebase authentication is back or not. So private late init var, let's call it mauth of type Firebase. Okay, so here as you can see we have this Firebase authentication from com.google.firebase.auth. So hit enter on this one. Okay, so now let's initialize this mauth. So inside this on create we have mauth is equal to Firebase auth dot get instance. This is how we initialize our Firebase authentication. Now let's add the functionality or write the codes for actually logging in user, because we are log inside this login activity. So when login button is pressed, so button login dot set on click, so set on click listener, and here the first thing that we'll do is we'll get the email and the password from the user. So we have val email is equal to get whatever is inside the edit text, edit email. So edt email dot text and convert it to string. So we have our email and let's get the password. So we have val password is equals to edt password dot text, okay, dot convert it to string as well. So we have our email and password. Now let's create a method called login, and here we'll pass in email and password. Okay, so like this we will write the logic for logging in the user. Now let's actually create this method called login. So here, okay, we have private fun login, and it takes two things, email and the password. So we have email of type string, and we also have password of type string as well. Okay, so here we have these two things, and we have similar features in sign up as well. So let's go to the sign up activity. So here we have the sign up activity. Okay, here also we have to initialize everything. So I can simply copy because most of the things are similar. Okay, so paste it over here. We have email. So we have email, password. We need one more for name. So we have edt name here, which is also type edit text, and we don't need this login button. Okay, so okay, first of all, get back to the signup.xml file. So here what we have, here we have edt name edit text, email edit text, password edit text. So name, email and password is done, and then we have this sign up button. So here is the sign up button. So let's initialize everything. So in this on create, we have edt name is equals to f. Okay, let's copy from the login. Why to write everything from scratch? So here and paste it over here. So we don't have the login, and what we have one more, which is of name. So edt name, and we have to get it from edt name, right? Okay, so when sign up button is pressed, we have to sign up the user. So button sign up dot set on click listener. Here we'll first get the details of the user from the edit text. So we have string email. We need email and just password to sign up the user. So val email is equals to we have this edt email dot text dot to string. Similar for password, password is equals to edt password dot text dot convert it to string. So when we have email and password, so let's create user using this email and password, because sign up means creating the new user. So sign up, this is the method that we will call, and here we'll pass in email and password. Okay, now let's actually create this method of signing up user. So private fun sign up, and here we need name. Okay, not name, we need email of type string, and the next thing is password, which is of also password also of type string, and here we'll write the logic of creating user. And inside this login, So where we have this login, here we'll write logic for logging in user, right? Okay, now what we have to do, we have to figure out how we have to use Firebase authentication to log in the user and to create the new user. So yeah, let's see how we have to do it. So let's go to Google and see if we have any code snippet for signing up user or not. So what I'll type is, okay, login, uh, we have Firebase, Kotlin, documentation. Let's search for the official documentation and see if we can get anything or not. So here let's go to the documentation of Firebase, and here let's go to this build, because we are still in building our application. So okay, let's see what we have here. The first thing is we have to go to the authentication, and inside this we have Android, and then sign in with pre-built UI. Let's see what we have in there. Okay, I think this is not what we are looking for. So let's search for this password authentication. Okay, I am doing this all because we have to use Google to search our things. We cannot remember all the codes that we have to write. That's why I am showing all this process, that how you have to search things online. Okay, so yeah, here we have this thing. So it says create new account by passing new user's email and password. So here we are creating new account. So let's copy this code snippet and make sure you are selecting this Kotlin. So simply copy this, and this is for creating new user. So let's go to the Android Studio, and we have to paste this code inside this sign up method. So let's paste it over here, and okay, we'll have some error because we have to import few things. Okay, we don't have any error. So if task is successful, we have to, okay, here you can see we have all the errors. So instead of auth, what we have to use mauth, because this is the name of instance that we have created. And if the task is successful, that means user is successfully created, we have to do these things. Okay, let's remove everything because we are going to write our own. And in the else part, if user fails, we have to write our own thing. Now here you can see this email and password is passed. This is the same email password that here we are taking input in this function. Okay, so when task is successful, here we have to write code for jumping to home activity, to home, right? So the first thing, we have to create an intent. So while intent is equals to intent. Okay, now we have to jump from this, which is this @ sign up. Okay, and we have to jump to main activity. So main activity class Java, and let's start this. Okay, start activity, and we'll pass in the. So this is what we have to do when the task is successful. Else, when the task is not successful, we'll simply show a toast message saying we have some error, either network issue or anything like that. So toast.make text, and we'll pass in this @ sign up. Okay, so this is the context, and the message is some error occurred, and the length of the toast. So we have short, so toast dot length short and dot show. So this is what we'll do if the sign up is unsuccessful. So we have the code for signing up new user. Now let's see if we have any code for logging in already existing user. So here, when user signs in your app, pass the user and email and password. So this is the thing for signing in already existing user. So copy everything, this code snippet. Let's go back to Android Studio. Inside this login activity, here in this login method, paste the code. Now let's wait while this shows error. Okay, here we have the error. Now instead of auth, we need mauth that we just have created. Also, when the task is successful, we have to do our own code for logging in user. Okay, it is logging in user. So in the else part, we can simply say toast dot make text, and the context here is this @login. This is the context, and what will show the message? The message will be user does not exist. When we try to log in the user that not exist, it will say user does not exist. Okay, and then the length of the toast, so we have toast dot length short and dot make text. Okay, not this. Okay, we have dot show, sorry. So this is the thing when the task is not successful, or when the task is successful, we have to jump to the main activity. So the code is similar or exactly same with this. So let's copy this and paste it over here, but instead of this we have to do login. Okay, so yeah, we are done with the login and sign up functionality, and as you can see, using Firebase user authentication is so easy. So yeah, let's run the app and see if it is actually working or not. So here is our app up and running. So currently we don't have any user. So now let's try to log in and let's see if what error do we have. So the email is abhay@gmail.com and the password is, let's say, abhay11. And if I press on the login button, let's see, it says user does not exist, and it should say that because we don't have any user signed up. So let's go to the sign up screen and let's enter the name of the user. So we have Abhay is the name and password is Abhay at the rate, email is abhay@gmail.com and the password is abhay11. Click on the sign up button. Okay, the app crashes. So let's see what is actually the error. So let's open up the logcat, go to error. So it crashes for very obvious reason, that is mauth has not been initialized. So here we have created this mauth, which is a Firebase authentication, but we never initialized it. So mauth is equals to Firebase auth dot get instance. So now let's run the app again, and hopefully this time everything will go as expected. So here is our app up and running. So let's sign up first. Name Abhay, email abhay@gmail.com, and the password is, let's say, abhay11. So click on this sign up and let's see what happens, and we are redirected to the home page, which is main activity. So it says hello world, and here the main activity says hello world. So everything is just working fine, and but the only issue is we don't have action bar, and this is because we have chosen the wrong theme. So let's get back to the theme again, and here it says no action bar. So let's search for theme appcompat.lite, and I think this will work. So let's run the app again and see what happens. So here is our app up and running, and this time as you can see, we have this toolbar saying chat application, but actually we don't want toolbar in this activity. So we'll just remove this in a second. Now this time we can log in as a user because we have signed up as abhay@gmail.com, and let's write the password, which was abhay11. Now this time we have to press the login button and let's see what happens. So we are redirected to the home activity. So this thing is working fine. Just one thing that we have to do, we have to remove toolbar from the login screen. So we can do it programmatically. So let's go to login.kt, and here inside this on create, we can simply go support action bar. Okay, and we have to simply hide it. So in this activity we will not have any action bar, and similar we want the same with the sign up activity as well. So okay, now let's go to the Firebase. Now let's refresh this page and see if we have a new user here or not. So here you can see we have one user with the email abhay@gmail.com, and we have the date of creation, and this is the UID. So this is the unique UID for every user which is used to authenticate a particular user. So we have successfully logged in and signed up in our app. So the next thing that we have to do is when we logged in this home page, we have to show all the list of the user who are signed up or who are using this app. So before we do that, we have to sign up with multiple accounts so that we can have that list of user. So first of all, let's close the app. Okay, now let's get back to the app and go to sign up, and this time let's log in as Akash, and email is going to be Abhay. Okay, not Abhay, we have akash@gmail.com, then password was Abhay11. I am saying this Abhay11 in I'm using this password in all the accounts just for simplicity. So you can click on the sign up. So we have another account. Okay, now let's have another one, and this time the name of the user is let's say Nayan, and what we have over here is nayan@gmail.com, and password will be same for this user as well. So click on sign up. We have one more user, and let's have the last one, and the name of the user is going to be Ravi, and email will be simply ravi@gmail.com, and then password is same, so simply press on the sign up. So in total we have 4 users. So let's get back to the Firebase and refresh this page, and let's see how many users do we have here. So here we have in total 4 users. Okay, so this thing is working fine, and the only thing that we have to do, we have to show the list of the user in the main activity. So let's see how we are going to do it. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to create a model of user. So go to project. Here when we have the package name, go to new, we have this Kotlin class, and the class name is user. Okay, so this class is just used to store the values of the user. So if you have little experience in Kotlin, then you know that we can simply use a data class to store values if class is just meant to store values. But since we are using Firebase must need an empty constructor to work with. So that's why I'm not making this a data class rather than a normal class. So this user have 3 properties: the name, email, and the unique UID for every user that Firebase authentication provides. So var name of type string, it could be null, and initially I will set it to be null. Okay, so this is the name. Then we have email of the user of type string, it also can be null, and initially I'll set it to null. And the last one is UID, which is the unique ID for all users, which is also of type string, initially set it to null. Okay, then what we need a constructor. So the first thing that we need is we'll do an empty constructor. Okay, and then we have a normal constructor, and it takes name of type string nullable, and email of type string nullable, and UID of type string nullable again. So initialize them. So this dot name is equal name, and this dot email is equal email, this dot uid is equal uid. So we are done with the user. Now the next thing is we have to show all the users. So we need a recycler view. So for creating a recycler view, we need a layout for displaying the recycler view. So go to the layout, right click on it, go to new, and it is layout resource file. Okay, and the file name is, let's say, user layout. That's it. So this is the layout that we have. Now first of all, let's change it to relative layout. So this is a relative layout, right? Okay, again let's create a relative layout that will wrap everything up. So width is going to be match parent, height is going to be wrap content. Okay, and what the next thing is, inside this we have a text view which will show the name of the user. Text view, wrap content, and let's have a sample text, and it will just say abhay, which is the current name. Set the size, so text size is going to be maybe 30 sp. Yeah, this will be fine. And let's set the text style to bold, and let's set the left margin left is 10 dp. Okay, yeah, so margin left is 10 dp, right? And the next thing that we need is, okay, so we are done with the sample layout. We just have to show text of the user, which is the name of the user. And if you want to add more functionality, you can also have image view that will act as a profile image of the user and tons of features, but I'm not doing this in this video. So this is, we are done with the layout. Let's change the height of the parent layout to wrap content. Okay, so yeah, that's it. And the next thing that we need is, okay, I don't think we need this relative layout. If we need relative layout, we will add it later, and I think this will be fine. Okay, so let's go to the activity main. Here we don't need this text view, so just get rid of this text view. What we need here is, we just need a recycler view. So go to the design mode and search for recycler view, get a recycler view, and drop it at the center of the screen. Match parent, height is also match parent. So now let's add list item and the layout that we just created. So it is called user layout. So this is how it is going to look like. Okay, here is some issue, and the issue is, between two names we want an underline that will separate two different user. So go to the user layout, and here what we need, let's get a view. Here we have this view. Width is going to be match parent and height is just 1 dp. Okay, and okay, let's first of all set the id of this. So it is txt name. Okay, and this one is, and the next thing that we need is, let's set the color. So we have background, and let's say if we have black color, yeah, we do have a black color, and this one will be always below txt name like this. And let's see again how it looks. So go to activity main. So this is how it will look. Okay, let's have some margin between the view and the name. So go back to the user layout, and let's give the top margin top, and the margin top will be 5 dp. Okay, and also let's give this text view top margin of 5 dp as well, and let's see how it will now look like. Okay, this is how it will look like, and this, it is still better than what we have previously. So we are done with this. Now we have to create the recycler view. So let's go to the project, and here inside this package name, right click, go to new Kotlin class, and we need user adapter for the recycler view. Okay, so this is the class of user adapter, right? Now this thing extends from recycler view dot adapter. Okay, now we have to create the view holder. So class, and let's call it a user view holder, and this will extend from view holder, right? So it will throw an error because we have to make it as a constructor, and we also have to pass in the item view as the constructor. Okay, it is done. Now let's extend and let's add this user view holder to the adapter. So we have user view holder dot adapter. Okay, so let's implement all the members. So here are the 3 members. This is the regular recycler view. I hope you must know how this recycler view works. So this is the class. Okay, let's shift this to the very below. Okay, so inside this we have to initialize all the views of this layout that we just have created, and we just have one view, that is the text view, which will show the name of the user. So let's get back to the user adapter. Here we have val name, okay, txt name, and here we have to find view by id. So if I say find view by id, so here you can see we don't have any suggestion for find view by id, and that's because we are not inside any activity. We need this item view for that. So item view dot find view. Now here we have this find view by id, and this is of type text view and r dot id. Okay, what's the problem? So here r dot id dot txt name. Okay, so we have this text name. So here we need few things. So the first thing inside this adapter that we need is we need context, because we have to use context in this class. So context of type context here, and the next thing is we need a list of user. So we have val user list, and this is of type array list of user. Okay, so we need this thing. Okay, it's still showing error because yeah, it is fine, it needs this constructor. Okay, so we are done with this. Now we have to write codes in on create view holder, on bind view holder, and here it says get item count. Here we just have to return the size of the user list. So user list dot size, that's it. Okay, now here we have to inflate a view. So val view, and this is of type view. Okay, and it is equal to layout inflator, and here what we have to do, we have to pass in from and the context. This is why we need context, and here now we have to inflate the layout that we just have created. So r dot layout dot user layout, because this is the layout we have to inflate. And the next thing is we have to pass in the parent and attach to root as false. I am not explaining what they are because these are the concepts of the recycler view, right? And I hope you already know how we create a custom recycler view. Okay, and we simply return this user view holder with the view passed inside it that we just have created. So return new user view holder and pass in the view that we just have created. So like this we are done with on create view holder, and here we have to bind the view holder. That means the things that we are getting, we have to bind it with this text view that we just have created. So first of all we have to get the current user from the user list. So val we have current user, and this is equal to user list and the current user. So how we get the current user, we have to pass in the position, that is here position. So we have the current user. Now let's set the text view according to the name of this current user. So holder we need holder to inflate the views. So holder dot text name dot text, and this is equal to current user dot name. So just like this, it will show the name of the current user. Okay. So let's go to the main activity. Here we need the recycler view, and inside this in this main activity we just have one thing, which is a recycler view. So here let's give the ID to the recycler view. So ID is user recycler view. Okay, let's get back to the main activity and initialize that over here. So we have private late init var, which is user recycler view of type recycler view. So this is the user recycler view, and this recycler view need few things. The first is array list of user, and then the adapter that we just have created. So we have private late init var, and then let's call it user list, and this is of type array list of user. Okay, and the next thing is the adapter itself. So private late init var and the adapter of type user adapter. Okay, so let's now initialize everything. So we have user list is equals to array list. Okay, and then we have adapter. So user okay, it is just adapter is equals to user adapter. It needs context, so the context is this, and the array list that we just have created, which is user list. Okay, so we have array list and the user list. Now we have to add users inside this array list in order to show it in the recycler view, but we haven't added that thing. What we have to do, we have to get the user from the database that is in our server or in this Firebase. So all these user in here, we have to add it to this user list. So what we have to do is, okay, first of all, we cannot access all the users from this authentication. We can only access them from the database, but we never have added users to the database. We just have created them. So what we have to do, we also have to add user to the database when the new user is created. So let's get back to the sign up activity here. Now when we are signing up a new user and when it is successful, one thing more that we have to do is we have to add user to the database. So add user to database, right? This is the method that I will create in a moment. Add user to the database, and what are the things that we have to add when user is added? So the first thing that we will add is the name of the user, then email of the user, and UID of the user. Okay, so these properties are added when we add a user. So first of all, we have to pass in the name over here. So we need a name of type string. Okay, so we have the name. Now the error is gone from here. And how we'll get the UID? UID of the current user we can simply get from the mauth that we have here. So mauth dot get, okay, not, we have UID. So just like this, we have the UID of the user. Okay, here we also have to pass in the name. So first let's get the name of the user. So our name is equals to edt name dot text dot to string. So let's pass in the name as well. Okay, now the error is gone from here. Now let's create this method add user to the database. So we have private fun add user to the database. What it needs a name of type string, and then it names email of type string as well. So we have email of type string, and the next thing is UID of type string as well. So okay, it's still, yeah, error is gone. Now here it is showing error because okay, we want to make it null safe. So yeah, so here let's write the code for adding user to the database when user is signed up. Okay, here is some problem, that is when we have to get the UID. So mauth, we have mauth dot first of all get the current user, then UID, and make it null safe, and that's it. Okay, now let's add the logic for adding user to the database. First of all, we have to initialize database from the Firebase itself. So click on the real-time database over here. So click here, create database. Now it will ask for the location, so go with the default setting, hit next, and we have to start in the test mode. So click on enable and it will create the database for us. So here is our database, and as you can see initially it is null. Now let's add data in this database. So let's get back to Android Studio, and we also have to add the Gradle dependencies in our app of this Firebase database. So go to tools, and here we have this Firebase assistant, and it will opens up. So here we have this real-time database. Click on this and get started with real-time database Kotlin. Click on this, it will ask you to add dependency, add real-time database SDK to your app. Click on this, accept changes, and now let's wait for a second while this Gradle build finish. So it is done with setting up everything. Now let's get the reference of the Firebase database. So here we have private late init var, and let's call it m database reference of type Firebase. Okay, we have database reference. So okay, we don't have it database. Okay, let me just restart the Android Studio because it is again some lag here. So simply close this and open it back. Database reference. Now here you can see we have database reference from com.google.firebase.database. Hit enter. Now we have to initialize it. So let's go to the user, this method, add user to database. So here we have mdb_ref is equals to firebase database dot get instance dot get reference. So here now we have the reference of the database. So now let's actually add data to it. So mdbref dot, here will say child. Now child will add a node to the database, and here we have to pass the path. So the path will be this UID. We have to create the node according to the UID so that we have unique node for every user. Okay, so we'll pass in the UID. So okay, before we pass in the UID, we'll create a parent node of user. So inside this user we have multiple users. So child, now let's pass in the UID. So it will create a different unique UID for every user. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to set value, and here we have to set the value of the user. So let's create a user, and here in this user what we have to pass, we have to pass name, email, and the UID. So we have name, email, and the UID. So let's pass everything. So name, then we have email, and the next thing is UID, and we are done. So like this it will add user to the database. So okay, before we run this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove all the users from who are already signed up, so that we will re-signed up all the users, and we have at the same time we have all the users in the database as well. So what I can do is I can simply remove all the users one by one. So you can delete user, again delete. Okay, now we don't have any user which is signed up in our app, and also our database is empty. So let's start everything from scratch. Now let's run the app first. So here is our app up and running. Now let's sign up. So name is Abhay, email abhay@gmail.com, and password is, let's say, abhay11. Press on this sign up button and we are at this screen. Now let's go to the database and let's see if we have any update over there or not. So here you can see we have a node of user, and inside this we have one more node which is the UID of that user. And as I press on this, here we have the detail of the user, and at the same time this user is also added in this authentication. So okay, let's wait for a second. So here we have this user as well. So now let's add few more user. So let's go, okay, and okay, let's press the back button, and this time let's log in as Akash, and here let's log in as akash@gmail.com. Password is going to be same, and press on this sign up button. Now we are signed up, and okay, here we have one more node with different email. Okay, let's have few more. So this time it is Ravi, and then the email is simply going to be ravi@gmail.com, and password is going to be same. So let's press on the back sign up button. Now here you can see we have one more user. Okay, so one thing that we are logged in as one of the user, and as I press the back button, it just gets back to the sign up screen, and we don't want that. What we want is we want a logout button, and when user press the back button when not logged out, it will simply return to the the app just closes. So let's go back to here, and when we are in this main activity, here what we have to do, first of all we need the reference to the Firebase auth, because we need auth to sign out. Okay, so we have private late init var, and let's call it auth of type Firebase authentication. Okay, now let's initialize this. So auth is equals to Firebase auth dot get instance. Now we need a menu. If you remember, when I was giving the preview of the app, we had a menu where we can press the logout button. So let's create a menu first of all. So go to app, and here Java over here, and inside the resources. So right click on this resources, go to new Android resource file, and the value what we want a menu, and let's call it menu. So let's wait for a second over here and go to the split mode here. So the first thing that we need is ID is going to be simply logout. This is the ID. Then we have title will be logout. So this is going to be the title, and that's it. We are done with the menu. Now we have to inflate this menu. So go to the main activity. Here we have on create menu. This is an overridden method. So we have this on create context menu, and then we have on create options menu. We need the second one. Hit enter. Now here what we have to do, we need a menu inflator. So we have menu inflator dot inflate, and here what we need is the first thing is the menu that we just have created. So it is inside r dot menu dot menu, which is the name of our menu, and here the second thing we have to pass this menu in here. Okay, so like this we have inflated the menu. Now we have to add the click listener to the menu. So we have on menu, okay, not this, on options item selected, this one. Okay, so what here is, we need to use this item to check which item is clicked. So if item dot, we have get item id dot, sorry, item id, if this is equal to r dot id dot logout, that means the logout is clicked. In that case we have to write the logic for logout, right? And then we have to return true. Okay, don't need this, and here also we'll simply return true. Okay, now what is the logic for logging out? It is very straightforward. It is just mauth dot current user dot, okay, it is sign out. Okay, not here, simply mauth dot sign out, and that's it. After that I'll simply press the finish. Okay, so this is how we'll simply log out. Now let's go to the sign up activity. So here is the sign up activity. Now when we are jumping to the home activity, we also want to finish the previous activity. So let's finish this, and same with the login. So what we are doing is, when we are logging in successfully, we will finish this. So now let's run the app and see how this thing is working. So here is our app up and running. So let's log in as abhay@gmail.com. Password was abhay11. Let's click on this login. So we are at this activity. Now here we have menu and it says logout. So if I press the back button, now you can see the app just closes, right? So let's open the app again, and let's enter as abhay@gmail.com, abhay11. So click on this login. So we are at the home page now. As I press the logout button, so the user is logged out, also the activity finishes. So what we have to do, let's go to the main activity, and we don't actually have to finish it, although we have to finish it, but we have to do one thing. We have to go to the login page as well. So val intent is equals to intent, and we have to jump from this, which is main. Okay, we have to import this. So we have to jump this @main activity from here to login class Java and start the activity. Okay, so just like this it will now work. Okay, so we are done with this. Okay, let's pass in the intent. Yeah, okay, so now what we had done, we had the list of user. Now our next task is to show the list of user in the recycler view, or all the users that are there in the database in our recycler view. So let's do it. So we have our user list and the adapter. Now let's initialize the recycler view. So user recycler view is equals to find view by id, r.id.user recycler view. Now if we are using recycler view, we have to set the layout manager as well. So user recycler view dot layout manager, and this is equals to linear layout manager, and we have to also pass the context, which is this. So we are done with the layout manager, and the next thing that we have to do is we have to set the adapter. So user recycler view dot adapter is equal to adapter that we have just created above. Now we have to read the data stored in the database and show it in the recycler view. Okay, so for that we need the reference to the database or the database reference. So private late init var, let's call it mdb ref of type firebase. Okay, we need of database reference which is from firebase.database. Okay, so let's initialize it. So mdb ref is equals to firebase database dot get instance dot get reference. Okay, so we have the reference to the database. Now let's get inside this database and read the values. First of all, what we have to do, we have to go inside this user node, and then after this user node we have to go inside this uid of different user. So what we have is mdb ref dot child and here the node, and make sure that this user or it says path string, this needs to be exactly same with what we have over here, otherwise it won't work. Okay, so we are inside the user. Now we have to read all the values. We cannot go inside the UID because we have different UIDs and we have no way to access them. So instead we will do all of them one by one. So what we'll do, dot add value event listener object value event listener, and what it does, so here it will show error and we have to implement the members. So these are the two members, on cancelled and on data change. Hit enter on them. So here we have one method on data change and then we have one method on cancelled. We are not going to do anything with this on cancelled. We are just interested in this on data change. Now here we have this snapshot. Snapshot will be used exactly to get the data from the database, because snapshot is a particular snapshot of how the schema of the database is. So what I will do, I will first of all we have to traverse inside all the childs of this snapshot. So for we have post snapshot in snapshot dot child. This is how we do for loop in Kotlin. So post snapshot and traverse inside this snapshot dot children. What we have to do here, we have different user. So when we are at this particular node, we have one user, then we have one user, and here we have another user. So we have to create the user object and add it to the user list. So val current user, that means the current user is equal to, now we use this post snapshot to get the user, dot get value. What kind of value we want a user, so user class dot java. So like this we have one user, and let's add this user to the user list. So user list dot add, and let's pass in the current user. Since we have some change, okay, it shows an error, and because we have to make it null safe. Yeah, also we have to notify this to our adapter. So this is the adapter that just we created. So dot notify data set change. Okay, so we are done, except we just have to do one thing, and that one thing is, before we run this for loop we have to create the previous user list. Why we have to do it? This on data change method is called every time when we have the change in data. So whenever, let's say we are at the home page and some user is added, that means we have some changes in the database. So this for loop will run all over again and it will start repeating the values. So before we run this for loop, we have to clear the previous list. That's why we have this user list dot clear. So yeah, we are almost done. Now let's run the app and see if this time we are getting the all users or not. So here is our app up and running. Now let's log in as abhay@gmail.com, abhay11. Press on this login button and let's wait for a second. Okay, so here we have list of all the users whose name are there in the database. So here we have these 3 users and the details of the user, and also here we are showing them. Now here is just a very simple error, and that is, if you logged in as Abhay, then you don't want this name Abhay shows up, because you don't want to chat with yourself. You just have to chat with your friends. So current logged in user must not show in this list. So there is very simple logic for that. When we are creating the user, we have to check that the UID of the current user does not matches with the current logged in UID's user. So okay, let me show you. So if we have mauth dot current user dot UID, if this is not equal, here we need this question mark. So when if it is not equal to current users dot UID, okay, so when this is the case, then only we want to add it to the list. Otherwise it is the currently logged in user. And now let's run the app and see if it is working or not. So here is our app up and running. Now let's log in as abhay@gmail.com. Abhay11, press on this login button. Now let's wait for a second, and here we don't have Abhay because that is the currently logged in user. So now let's log out and log in as akash@gmail.com. Then Abhay11 was password. Click on this login button and it says Abhay and Ravi, and Akash is not there. So this thing is working fine. Okay, now the next task. When we click on the user, the chat activity opens up, and where we can actually chat with user. So let's see how we are going to do it. So first of all, let's get rid of all the unnecessary XML files. Don't need this, not even this. So go to project Java. Okay, this package name, right click over here, go to new, and then we have the activity gallery, select the empty one, hit next. Now the name will be simply chat activity. So here is our chat activity. Now let's go to the XML file. Okay, so here the first thing that we need is we need the recycler view, and that recycler view will show all the message that you sent or the message that you receive. So let's create okay, simply go to the design mode, and what you can do, search for okay, we have recycler view over here. Get this and drag it to the center, and we have this as okay, width is going to be match parent and height is going to be wrap content. I'll tell you why wrap content. Okay, let's change it to a relative layout. So here is the chat activity, and we need one more layout which will hold an edit text and the send button, because at the bottom of the screen we want a space where we can write the message, and then we have a button to right side of it. So when we press on that button, we can send the message. So let's create a linear layout for that. Okay, not this, we need linear layout, this one, and width is going to be match parent and height is going to be maybe wrap content. Okay, and we have weight sum. I'll set it to 100. So this is the linear layout, and inside this it will be always at the bottom of the screen. So align parent bottom and set it to true, so that it will be always at the bottom of the screen. And let's set the ID and let's call it linear layout. Also, let's give ID to the recycler view. ID is going to be chat recycler view. So this is the chat, and this will be always above linear layout. Linear layout. Okay, so this is the, okay, let's set, so let's remove all the constraint. Also, it will be always align at the top, so align parent, okay, align parent top. I'll set the value to true. And also we have to set the orientation of the linear layout, so we have orientation will be horizontal. Okay, so what is inside this linear layout? We need two things. One is the edit text itself. Width is going to be maybe wrap content. Height is also okay. Height, let's set it to be 50 dp. This is going to be the height. And okay, let's give it ID. ID will be message box. Here we have to type our message. Okay, this is the message box, and let's set the weight for this is layout weight will be 70, not 80. So it will cover 80% of the horizontal width of the linear layout. So that's it. And okay, let's set the hint for this. So hint is going to be and write a message. So type a message, type a message. So here you can see we have this thing. Okay, and the next thing that we need an image view for the button. So image view, width is 50 dp and also height is 50 dp. Okay, and source will be the send. This is the drawable, and here you can see we have that. Also the weight of okay, weight sum layout weight will be 20. Yeah, so we are almost done. Here you can see we have the send button. Also we have this. Okay, let's change the weight to 90. Yeah, it is okay, 85 will be better. So we have this as 85. Let's give the left margin left as 10 dp. Okay, also okay, we'll set the background for this. So we have to create the custom background. So let's do it. Go to project, and inside the drawable, right click on this, go to new drawable resource file, and this will be we have message, okay, message box background, and hit enter. This is going to be almost similar to the edit text background. So we can simply copy this, go to the message text over here, select everything and paste. Instead, there is some difference, that is width is going to be just 1 dp. So let's go to the chat over here, and let's set the background as we just have created, which is message box background. Now here you can see we have the message box. Okay, let's change it to 2 dp. Okay, so yeah, 2 dp will be much better. Also give the padding left of 10 dp, so that this type of message will be a little bit left side. Also one more thing, we'll have to give a bottom margin to this layout. So we have this bottom margin bottom, let's set it to 5 dp, so it will be a little bit upside from the bottom. So just like this we are done with this thing. Okay, now the next thing that we have to do is we have to create this adapter for the message recycler view, and this is the most trickiest part of our this project. So let's see how we are going to do it. Okay, before we do that, we have to create a model for message. So let's go to project over here, right click on the package, go to new Kotlin class, and here is message. So here in the class of message, we basically have two things. So the first thing that we have is the message itself, which is message of type string can be null is equals to null initially. Then the sender ID of the sender ID, that who is sending the message of type string can be null is equals to null initially. Now let's have constructor. This one is the default constructor. This one is empty constructor. Then we have this constructor. Now here will pass in the message of type message. Okay, not message of type string. Then sender ID of type string as well. Okay, so this dot message is equals to message, this dot sender ID equal sender ID. So this is the model of the message. Let's close this. Okay, now before we create the adapter, we need layout for that adapter. But this time we cannot just get our job done with one layout. We need two layout. One layout for message that we have received, and one layout is for the message that we have sent. So let's do it. So inside this layout, right click on this, click on this layout resource file, and here let's call it sent. So this is sent layout. So we have the split mode. So instead of constraint layout, we need relative layout. Also set the height of this as wrap content. So here we have a relative layout again, and with wrap content height wrap content. Okay, and inside this we need a text view. Okay, wrap content, and the text over it, it will say this is sent message. Okay, and let's set the size to be maybe 16 sp. So okay, 18 sp will be fine. Okay, so this is the text view. Okay, let's set the ID of the text view. ID will be txt sent message. Okay, not plus, here we have this. Okay, also let's set the background of this relative layout as the background of the button. So let's see, this is the background for button, and this is how it will look. Okay, what we can do to improve this, first of all, let's change the text color. So text color over here is white, and let's give the padding of 10 dp. Okay, yeah, it will be fine. And let's give the left margin to the relative layout, margin left of 10. Okay, since this is the sent message, we have to move it to the rightmost part of the screen. So align parent right, and I'll set it to true, so it will be this side. Now let's give the right margin right of 5 dp, and also top margin top as 5 dp as well. So this is how the sent message will look like. Okay, it's just way too big. Yeah, this is how the sent message will look like. Now let's create the similar receive message. So go to project, and here layout, right click on this, go to new layout. Okay, yeah, layout resource file, and this one will be called receive. So I can copy everything from here, and let's do some changes. So go to the split mode. So here it is, but first of all it is receive message, and we don't want it to be aligned to the right. First of all, also we don't want this background, we want the background of the edit text. So okay, and okay, yeah, let's change the color of the text. Okay, simply remove this color attribute from the text view, and this is how it will look for the receive message. We don't want margin right of 5 dp, instead we want margin left 5 dp. So this is how the receive message will look like, and it is working fine. So we are done with the layout. Now the next big task that we have is creating the adapter for the message. So first of all, let's get rid of all the unnecessary XML file that we have over here. Also, we don't need login sign up .kotlin file. We'll close this. So let's go to the project, and here right click on this, go to new. We have Kotlin class, and this class is called message adapter. Now hit enter on this and get rid of this. Okay, so first of all, this is recycler view adapter, so it will extend from recycler. Okay, recycler view dot adapter. Now we need the view holder, but this time we don't just have one view holder like we do every time when creating the recycler view. We need two view holder, one for receiving the message and one for sending the message. So we have class, this one is sent view holder, extending from uh, view holder. Okay, now it will throw error. So, and let's add the item view. So this is the sent view holder, and the next one will be receive view holder. So this one will be receive view holder. Now here we have to pass the name of the view holder, but here we have two view holders, sent and receive. So what I will do is I will not pass either of them. So that is view holder, and that's it. We just implement the members that we have in the adapter. So implement members, click on it, and here we have all the three members. So here is both the class. Let's make it at the bottom over here. Okay, so here on create view holder, here on bind view holder, and return the item size. So here first of all we have to pass in two things, first context and then the error list of message. So here we have val context of type context over here, and the next thing is we have to pass in the list of message, which is message list, which is of type array list of message object. Okay, yeah, now here we have this on bind view holder, but since we have two view holder, send and receive, so here we have to do some trick. We have to check that what view holder first we have to work with. So simple, do a if statement. So if holder dot class java class is equal to sent view holder class java, that means the current view holder is a sent view holder. So here we'll simply do the stuff for sent view holder, and in the else part we have to do the stuff for receive view holder. So do stuff for receive view holder, right? So what we have to do here, we have to typecast our holder to the sent view holder. So let's create a new holder. So val view holder, and this is equal to holder as sent view holder. This is how we typecast. Okay, and we have to do the same for receive view holder. We'll create a new view holder, but again cast view holder as receive view holder. Now if I go to the sent and receive layout, here is the receive one and here is the sent one. Here we have a text view. In both of them we have a text view. So let's initialize the text view first of all. So val sent means sent message. Obviously sent message is equals to item view dot find view by id. Okay, it is of type text view. Here r dot id dot we have sent txt sent message, and the same is going to for receive. Okay, I think I haven't added the different IDs. So here this one is received, so it is going to be receive txt receive message. Okay, and yeah, so let's go to the message adapter, and here it will be receive message of type text view, and here it will be txt receive message. Okay, now when it is sent view holder, that means holder dot sent message dot text equal to, we will set the message that is inside the message object. So first let's create the message object. So val current message, and how we are going to get it? We are going to get from the message list passed over here and then the position. So we have message list. To get the particular message we have to pass the position, and we have this position over here. So here we have the current message, and we have to extract the text message out of this current message object. So current message dot message. So this is how we are going to set the message, and similarly for receive view holder as well. So holder dot we have receive message dot text is equals to current message. Okay, what is the problem? Okay, it needs to be outside of the if statement. Current message dot message. So this is how we have our on bind view holder. Now it's time for on create view holder. Here we have to create here we have to attach or layout according to the views that we have. We can either have this sent view holder, and if it is sent view holder then we need different layout which is sent layout, and if it is receive view holder then we have different layout which is receive layout. So what we have to do, we have to do a little trick over here, and that is, here I will create two variables. One is called item receive and the value will be 1, and the other one will be val and I will call it item sent equal to 2. It will help us to return the view. To return a particular view, what we need is we have to override another method. That is, okay, let me show you what the method is. That method is called get item view type. Here it will return an integer depending upon the view type. So click on this. So first of all, get rid of this and get the current message first of all. So where current message is equals to message list, and will pass in the position. Okay, first of all, now if the UID of the current user matches with the sender ID of this message, that means we have to inflate sent view holder. Okay, let me show you what it is. So if firebase auth dot get instance dot current user dot UID, if this UID is equals dot equals, if this is equal to current message dot uid, okay, current message dot sender id, sorry. If this is the case, that means you have to inflate the sent view holder, okay, because you are sending the message and all the message that you have sent needs to be in sent view holder. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll simply return this item sent, right? And in the else part, that means you are not logged in and other user is sending the message. In that case, we'll simply return item receive. This is the thing that we have. Now according to the return type of this method, we are going to inflate our layouts. So if view type is equal to 1, that means it is item receive. So in that case, inflate receive, and in the else part, simply inflate inflate sent. So let's copy the code from the user adapter. So user adapter, here we have this code in this on create view holder. Let's go back to the message adapter. Here I'll simply paste it, but some changes I have to make. The first of all, we have context, and instead of this user layout, what we need okay, receive, yeah, this is the name. Also we have to return receive view holder, and here I will pass the view that we just have created. So similar in the else part, but for sent, so it will be sent, and instead of receive view holder, it will be sent view holder and pass the view. So that's it, we are done with this message adapter. Now here you can see we have, okay, first of all, let's return the size of the message list. So message list dot size. Okay, so we are done with this message adapter class. Now let's go to the chat activity. Now here in the chat activity, we need few things. So here what we have is, we have the recycler view, then we have edit text, which is message box, and then the image view, which is the button to send the message. So let's initialize all of them. So private late init var, and this is message recycler view, of type recycler view, then private late init var, and this is message box, let's call it message box, of type edit text, then the image view. So private late init var send button of type image view. Okay, image view, not image. Now let's initialize all of them. So we have this message. Okay, before that, okay, I'll do it. Message recycler view is equals to find view by id r dot id dot message. Okay, I think I haven't given id for this, so it is okay, it is chat recycler view. So let's go to the here, let's call it chat recycler view, and here it is also chat recycler view, find view by id chat recycler view, then message box. So message box is equals to find view by id r dot id dot message box. Again, send button is equal to find view by id r dot id dot send. Okay, I think I haven't given id for the image view. So for the image view, we have id sent button. So let's go back to the chat activity. Here I'll type sent button. So we have initialized everything over here. Okay, before we run the app to test out this activity, how this chat activity looks, let's go back to the user adapter. Here we have few things to fix. So first of all, when in the user list, user can click one of the item from the list, or one of the name of the user to whom he or she want to chat with. So we have to set on click listener on the recycler view items. So let's do it over here inside this user adapter and on bind view holder. So holder dot item view dot set on click listener. Okay, when this item is clicked, when any of the item is clicked, we have to open up the chat activity. So val intent is equals to intent. Okay, now we have to pass the context of the current activity, but we are not inside any activity, we are inside a class, but we do have context passed over here. Okay, so we can simply say context. So this is the current context, and we have to go to chat activity. So chat activity class Java. Okay, and let's start this activity. Okay, okay, it will not just say start activity because we are not inside activity, so we need context dot start activity and pass in this intent. Okay, so it will work. Now here we have to do one more thing, and that is we have to send some information from this activity to the chat activity. Okay, so that information is we have to send the name of the user to whom it is clicked, because we have to show it on the toolbar of the chat activity. Okay, so we have intent dot put extra, and here we have to pass in the key, and the key is name, and the string that we are passing is the name of the current user. So current dot name. Okay, so we have passed name. Let's also pass the UID of the current user. So intent.put extra UID, and let's get the UID. So Firebase, auth dot get instance dot current user dot UID. So like this, we have the UID that we are sending to the activity called chat activity. Now let's receive this intent. So here we have val intent is equals to, okay, now first of all we have val name is equals to intent dot get string extra, and the key was name for name, and then we have UID also. So UID is equal to intent dot get string extra, and this one will be UID. So like this, we have a name and UID from the previous activity, and let's set the name as in the toolbar. So we have support action bar dot title, the title as name. Yeah, that will be fine. So now let's try to run the app and see if everything is in place or not. So here is our app up and running. So let's log in as abhay@gmail.com. Password is abhay11. Click on this login and let's wait for a second. And here we have Akash and Ravi. So let's click on this Akash, and okay, it opens up, but we don't have name at the toolbar. So let's see what is the issue. The error here was very obvious. Here we don't have to create this intent, so simply get rid of this. Now here we have intent, which is from another activity, and then we have received the name, the UID. Now I will simply run the app just to see if this time it is working or not. But before that, let's go back to the user adapter, and here we don't have to pass the UID of the logged in user. Here we have to pass the UID of this user that we just have created. So current user Okay, current user dot uid. This is what we have to pass, and let's run the app again, and hopefully this time our issue will be fixed. So here is our app up and running. So abhay@gmail.com. Then we have abhay11. Click on this login button. So here we have, let's press on this Akash, and here we have Akash written over the toolbar. So this is working fine now. Okay, now, okay, let's initialize our adapter. We haven't done yet. So private late init var, and then we have this message adapter, and the next thing is we need an array list of message. So private late init var, so let's call it message list. Okay, and it is of type array list of message. So let's initialize them too. So we have message not message box, we have message adapter is equal to, okay, before that we need our array list to be initialized. So message list is equals to array list, and then we have message adapter. What it needs context, which is this, and the array list, which is message list. So we are done initializing everything. Now when this send button is clicked, what we have to do? So send button dot set on click listener. Okay, so here comes the main logic. We have to send the message to the database first of all, and from the database the message will be received to different user. So let's see what is the logic for that. So here we first of all need two things. We need, the first thing is we have val receiver room. I'll tell you what this is. Of type string, can be null, and initially it will be null. And similarly we need sender room. So here we have sender room. Okay, now sender room and receiver room is used to create a unique room for sender and the receiver, so that the message is private and it is not reflected in all the users. Using sender room and receiver room, we create a unique room for the pair of sender and receiver. Okay, now here when we are receiving the UID of the clicked user, instead it will be wise to call it receiver UID instead of just UID. And what we have, okay, we have receiver UID. Now let's update our sender room first of all. So sender room will consist of receiver UID, okay, not receiver room, receiver UID plus sender UID. Sender UID means currently logged in users UID. So let's create that. So we have val sender UID, and this is equal to firebase auth dot get instance dot current users dot UID. So like this you have the UID of currently logged in user. So this is the sender room. Okay, let's change it to var because the value is changing, and sender room will also be var. So this is the sender room, and let's create the receiver room as well. So receiver room will be just opposite of sender room, that is sender UID plus receiver UID. Okay, this sender UID, sender room, receiver room will create a unique room for the sender and receiver. That's why we have this over here. Okay, now when send button is clicked, so when send button is clicked, we have to handle the logic of adding the message to the database. So send, okay, adding the message to database. So what we have to do, the first thing we will get what is written in the message box. So val message, and this is equal to, we have message box dot text converted to string. Okay, and the next thing that we need is we need to create a message object using this message. So we have val message object, okay, let's call it message object, and this is equal to, let's create a message here, and it needs two things. If you open up the message model here, the message model here, you can see it asks for two things, the message itself and the sender ID. So here I will pass the message and the sender ID, which is sender UID. So we have created this message object and we have to set it over the database. So what I will do, so first of all we have to get the reference of the database. So private late init var, let's call it mdb ref of type database reference, and let's initialize it in on create. So when we are doing it, let's do it only here. So mdb ref is equals to firebase database dot get instance dot get reference. Okay, so it is initialized. Now we have to create an node of chats. So here we have a node of user. We'll create one more node of chats. So mdb ref dot child. So here this will be called chats, and inside this chats we'll create one more child, and this child will be of sender room. Okay, and we have to make it null safe, sender room, and then let's create the child, and here inside the sender room we have a child of messages, which will store all the messages that you have sent, messages. Now we'll do a push. What push will do? Push will create a unique node every time when this push is called. Now we have to set the value. Now what value we have to set? We have to set the message object that we just have created. Okay, so like this we have updated the sender room. Since we have updated the sender room, at the same time we have to update the receiver room, because when you send a message to someone, your UI is updated and also the sender's UI is also updated. So first of all we'd add a success listener, because we only have to do it when this is success. So add on success listener, and we have to do all over same thing with receiver room as well. So copy everything and paste it over here, but this will be receiver room. So like this we have updated our sender room and receiver room. Now let's simply run the app and see if this is doing some change to the database or not. So here is our app up and running. So let's log in as abhay@gmail.com. abhay11 is password. Click on this login button. So here, okay, first of all, let me open up my Firebase database and click on this Akash, and let's enter some message. Let's send some message. It says, "Hi, Akash," and press on this send button. So here you can see we have one node of chat. So if I open this chat, here we have sender room, receiver room. So let's open up sender room. Inside sender room we have this message. Click on the message, and here we have a random key that is there because we have written push. And if I open this up, it says, "Hi Akash," and then the sender ID, and same will be with the receiver room. So this thing is working, our database is updating, but here is some issue. When we press on this send button, we have to clear the message so that a new message can be written. So for that, what we have to do, when this button is pressed and everything is updated to the database, after that we will simply clear the message box. So box dot set text, and we'll set an empty text, and that's it. So this is how we'll set the empty text in the message box when message is sent. Now the next thing is we have to show data in the recycler view from the database. So we will write the logic for that here, which is logic for adding data to recycler view, right? So for that we have the reference to the database, which is mdbref. Okay, mdbref dot child. Here we have to go inside chats node, and after that we will go inside the sender room itself. So we have sender room and make it null safe, and inside the sender room we have this node of message. So dot child, and the node name is message itself. So copy it from here and paste it here. Make sure the spelling is same, otherwise it won't work. So we are inside the message. Now we have to add value event listener. Dot add value event listener object value event listener, and now we have to implement the members. Click on this, and we need both of the members over here. So get rid of this and get rid of this. Here we use this snapshot to get all the values from the database and show it in recycler view. So first of all, we will use for loop to loop throughout all the messages in this snapshot. So for post snapshot in snapshot dot children. Okay, so you already have seen why we use this for loop and why we are traversing inside this snapshot dot children, because we have to get to all the childrens of this snapshot. Okay, so what this snapshot contains? This snapshot contains messages. So we'll create the message using this post snapshot val message, and this is equals to post snapshot dot get value. And what kind of value? We have to get the message, so which is message class Java. Okay, so we have the message. Now we have to add it to the message list. Message list dot add, and then I will add this message that we just have created, and also make it null safe. So we have added some element to the message list, so we have to notify this to the adapter as well. So message adapter dot notify data set changed. Okay, now one more thing is we have to clear the previous message list, because on data changed is called again when we have some change in the database. So when you send the message, that means some data is changed. This on data changed call again, and it will start repeating the values. So we have to clear the previous value as well. So message list dot clear, and you already have seen this previously why we use this, why we have to clear the array list. Okay, so we are done with the logic of adding message to the list and then show it to the recycler view. One thing that we still have to do is we have to set the layout manager to the recycler view and also set this message adapter to the recycler view. So let's do it. Chat recycler view dot layout manager is equals to linear layout manager, then the context, which is this. So this is the layout manager, and then let's set the adapter. Chat recycler view dot adapter is equals to message adapter. Okay, so that's it. Now let's run the app and see if this thing is working or not. So here is our app up and running. Let's enter email abhay@gmail.com, password abhay11. So we are here at the home page. Click on the Akash, and here you can see we have the previous message that I have sent. It says hi Akash. So let's write some message. Hi, hello Akash, how are you? Let's send this. Okay, so here you can see this thing is updated. Now let's go to the database, and here you can see this was our previous message, and we have one more node over here. Click on this, and this says hello Akash, how are you, which is message, and then we have sender ID, and here also this thing is updated respectively. Okay, so this thing is working fine, and let's log in as Akash and see if we are getting this message there or not. So log out from this. Okay, now we have akash@gmail.com, password abhay11. So here let's click on this Abhay, and here we have the messages from Abhay. See, these are the two messages, and I can reply back, hi Abhay, I am fine. And as I send the message, here you can see we have one more node added, and this is the message from Abhay. It says hi Abhay, I am fine, and here also this thing is updated. Okay, I can send some more. How's it going? And as I send the button, here you can see we have one more node of message with the message and the sender ID. So this is how we use Firebase to create chat application. What we have learned in this video, we have learned Firebase database and Firebase authentication, and also we have seen how we create a recycler view with more than one view holder. So that's all about this video, and hope to see you in the next video.